Just listening to a wee bit of pop music on my drive to work, folks. Puts a wee bit of wind in my sails, but there already is significant wind in my sails, quite blustery wind actually, and also in my pants. There is a blustery wind in my sails, folks, as well, because it is Friday today, which is wonderful. Just on the way to the job, painting and decorating in Hove. Now, I have taken it upon myself to bring to work, or to start bringing to work, I love a wee bag of nuts. I love a wee bag of nuts, folks, as you'll know from my previous broadcasts from around 2 years ago. Here we have, folks, is a wee bag of nuts. I did show you my one of my wee bags of nuts that I like to keep in the house. Now, I've taken a wee bag of nuts to work as a energy-giving protein snack. Now, they are salted, they're a bit naughty, but I was talking to an elderly gentleman recently who said, you're much better off eating nuts rather than crisps or any carbs. He said, it's the protein, you need the protein. Much better for keeping the weight off than the evil carbs. Peanuts. I love a wee bag of peanuts, folks. Peanuts were, of course, popularised in the 1980s by Liverpool striker Ian Rush. Before then, folks, really not a lot of people were eating peanuts. They were criminally ignored, in fact, until the Welsh wizard Ian Rush came along. Now, I don't know how much you remember about Ian Rush and how he looked on the football pitch. Of course, he had a rather fantastic moustache on him, but he also had the most wonderfully muscly legs. Now, I do love a muscly leg, folks. Ian Rush did have extremely muscly legs. I remember the little all those little sticker books I collected back in the early 1980s. The football sticker, panini, is that what you call them? That's a type of sandwich, for God's sake. I remember noticing, look at the legs on that boy Ian Rush. That's impressive stuff. I wonder how he gets them like that. But folks, I'll tell you how he gets them like that. He eats lots of protein, and he loves a wee bag of nuts, you see. So all that a high consumption of the salted peanut in conjunction with all that running around and probably a little bit of gym training as well, the weights, rendered Ian Rush's legs really quite massive. Of course, he could have reaped financial rewards, really, thinking about it, from the likes of KP and Planters, in fact. So he missed a trick there, really. He made up for that by scoring lots and lots of really fantabulous goals for Liverpool, and was pretty much worshipped by the Scouse people. People were not eating enough nuts before then. They started seeing Ian Rush, so the paparazzi would get him, you see, and instead of, you know how Gaza, for example, was always caught by the mainstream media when he was out on the piss. It wasn't like that for Ian Rush. He was caught by the paparazzi gorging on not only wee bags of nuts, but quite big bags of nuts as well, walking down the streets of Liverpool. They didn't run that many stories on him eating the nuts, because the tabloids editors would say that, you know what, it's not very interesting, this, it's not sensational enough. It just shows Ian Rush eating a wee or a big bag of nuts. So they dropped it, but enough people saw it. It was brought to the attention of the masses, and they said, well, if Ian Rush loves a wee bag of nuts, then I'm probably going to get into them as well. So their popularity began to grow in the Merseyside area, of course, folks. But that quickly spread into the rest of the United Kingdom and outwards into the globe of the world. And And that's why we all love a wee bag of nuts these days, folks. Especially me. I'm hoping that my skinny legs will start to grow some serious muscle on them, so that I might one day have impressively big legs, very much like Ian Rush. It's a lovely day today, folks. I'm hoping to engage in some wrestling at some point. It's definitely the weather for it.
Nuts, 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 where are all the nuts, as the song goes. Right, so nuts, basically, I put them in nearly everything. They're lovely, lovely, and particularly in a wee bowl of soup.